All right, little do you know that I got into a fight with my spray tan chick today. Not really, like not literally, but figuratively. Hello, hi, good evening. Hi, Denny, GC, what's up, man? Jace, hello, how are you? God bless you guys. So today, this morning, I'm watching Benny Johnson. It's like morning routine. I get my kiddo off to school. My other one I see off to work while he's here co-oping, and then after I get the kiddos, I'm all by myself, and I want to, listen to some news going on, and of course we got the news that Kevin McCarthy, well, he laid it out there, the inquiry for impeachment, and I was always told that an inquiry for impeachment meant more evidence can be subpoenaed. They would do more digging to find more evidence. But like, if you guys don't remember, Kevin McCarthy, hey guys, elect me as Speaker of the House, and I will make sure that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and the impeachment and J6 prisoners and all this, that, and the other. And here we are 8 months later, and nothing's done. So Benny Johnson had covered the inquiry for impeachment this morning and live, right? He was like, literally, this is just breaking news. And everyone got excited, but then like it's the reality started to sink in. The reality of like, dude, this is just impeachment inquiry, and he says nothing about Hunter Biden. He seemed very nervous. He seemed like he wanted to just say what he wanted to say, and he beat feet. He like didn't take any questions. He got up. I'm gonna play the tape for you guys, like the press conference that Kevin McCarthy did. But then Matt Gaetz came out swinging. Right. And I wanted to wait, you guys, because during Benny's live, a lot of people were asking me, when are you going to talk about this? And I'm like, today, but I want to make sure that we get more information out. Despite what most of the left says about me, the whole I spread too much misinformation, that actually means truth. They call it misinformation. But I get it though. I don't like to be wrong, but I'm not always right. And I would be lying if I said I'm always correct. But you know how they are. Misinformation, disinformation. Fuck you. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. Hi, everybody. All right. So I like what you said here, Wendy Ty. Yeah. McCarthy, I think what he did was he just, hey, let me in there and I promise I'll get it done. Elect me. It's like every political promise. And it's like, God, this is just so, I can't even. All right. So we got Twitter. Well, X, formerly known as Twitter. Matt Gaetz is trending right now because of what he said. He was like, yo, like, we're not doing that. We're going to call you out on it, McCarthy, but I wanted to play what Kevin McCarthy did because I got excited, today. And I was just like, whatever. But let me find it. Oh, and liberals stormed McCarthy's office, BLM and Antifa. And guess what happened? Nothing. They got arrested. I'm sorry, they did. They got arrested. But that's it. That's it. They're not going to be sitting in prison for like 20 years. But whatever. And I also have a clip from Scott Perry. He breaks it down pretty well. Kevin McCarthy. Man. Here. I agree with you though. And Wendy, he needs to just go get gone now. Bye. Twitter. Kevin McCarthy. All right. Let's hear what this twat waffle has to say. Fucking politicians, you guys. They fucking lie, man. They do. All right.
Months that we were gone in the weeks, House Republicans have uncovered serious and credible allegations into President Biden's conduct.
Yeah, right. We know we
Taken
see it.
together, these allegations paint a picture of a culture of corruption.
Hi, Vic.
Now,
Hi,
here's
Bill.
what we
Hi,
know so
Dorinda.
far. Through our investigations,
Megan.
we have found that President Biden did lie to the American people about his own knowledge of his family's foreign business dealings.
No. You mean to tell me Joe Biden lied about his family's business dealings? No. Hunter's the smartest man he knows. Man, we got text messages. We got Hunter's laptop that the FBI paid $30 million to hide and keep from the American public from finding out. We got this dude here saying that we're going to release the January 6th footage only if you have like A, B, C, and D. Like the American people are what? We're scum on the bottom of your shoes. We don't deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God. Like Bo yesterday said on my podcast, man, this is one nation under God. We need to get God back into this country, you guys, because I'm sick and tired of these tyrants. So here's Mr. McCarthy stating the obvious. Like, we don't know. If Ray Charles was alive today, he'd be like, I see that shit.
Eyewitnesses have testified that the president joined on multiple phone calls.
His strings are showing.
And had multiple interactions. Dinners resulted in cars and millions of dollars into his son's, business partners. We know that bank records show that nearly $20 million in payments were directed to the Biden family members and associates through various shell companies.
RHINO.
The Treasury Department alone has more than 150 transactions involving the Biden family and other business associates that were flagged as suspicious activity by U.S. banks.
All right. So what Scott Perry had to say, you guys, is very interesting because he goes on congressional and Senate salary. Can Joe Biden, Barack Obama, can they own these types of mansions, compounds? Shit. That mother effer put a $500,000 wall around his Delaware compound. We, the people, American taxpayers, paid for Hunter Biden's shiny new veneers. But if a veteran needed dental work, what? You're going to give him some wooden dentures? A peg leg? I mean, oh, well, they could go to the VA and get themselves some like prosthetic boobies if they felt like a woman. But under the Biden administration, I just don't understand why we, the people, have to pay for Hunter's teeth. We have to pay for Hunter's Malibu pad that he's spending like, I think Secret Service even rented the home next door to him. Like, you couldn't pick like your typical neighborhood. You had to pick freaking Malibu. That just looks at America like, you know what? Screw you guys. We're going to capitalize on everything. And what? If I was Kevin McCarthy, if I was Speaker of the House, I would be so angry at this. I would be like, what you guys have already suspected and all of the proof that and evidence that we have and that you have seen, we are impeaching this son of a bitch and his little son too. The smartest man Joe Biden knows is going to be sitting in the same cell as his daddy. That's how I would be. But Kevin, he just seems like, well, very robotic and just, I think he's lying. I don't know. He's full of shit.
Even a trusted FBI informant has alleged a bribe to the Biden family. Biden used his official office to coordinate with Hunter Biden's business partners about Hunter's role in Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company. Finally, despite these serious allegations, it appears that the president's family has been offered special treatment by Biden's own administration. Treatment that not
his
otherwise
kitty
would
and his
have
cat that he
received
almost lost in the
if they were not related
kitchen
to the
fire.
These are allegations of abuse of power,
Oh, thank you.
obstruction, and corruption. And they warrant further investigation by the House of Representatives.
Well, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, well, they want their investigation. What more investigation needs to be done? Did you guys look, man? We're going to let Kevin McCarthy finish this out. I did some research today. Okay. You don't even know the fucking sword I fell on for you guys. I did this so you don't have to. We're going to get to that next. I'm still fucking traumatized.
That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden. This logical next step.
I know we're coming up with that next, bud.
To gather all the facts and answers for the American public. It's exactly what we want to know.
Yeah, right.
Answers. I believe the president would want to answer these questions and allegations as well. This effort will be led by Chairman James Comer at the Committee on Oversight in coordination with Chairman Jim Jordan.
Yes.
For Judiciary Committee and Chairman Jason Smith on Ways and Means.
Because you're freaking useless, Kevin McCarthy. You should have been in there too, leading the pack. But no, you have to leave it up to Comer and Jim Jordan, which I like Jim Jordan. He's from Ohio and he represents the country well. This puppet, no.
I do not make this decision lightly. Regardless of your party or who you voted for, these facts should concern all Americans. The American people deserve to know.
Very true, Vic.
That the
Yellow
public
belly
offices are not for sale, and that the federal government is not being used to cover up the actions of a politically associated family. Now, I would encourage the president and his team to fully cooperate.
Happy birthday
with this investigation
to you.
In the interests of transparency. We are committed to getting the answers for the American public. Nothing more, nothing less. We will go wherever the evidence takes us. Thank you very much.
And he runs away like a dog with his tail tucked between his legs. Not one question did he answer. The whole room erupts. Look at how he can't get out of there fast enough because he knows. Like, answer a gosh darn question. Happy birthday to Passionate Ellie. Happy birthday. Well, I can sing, but happy birthday to you. Joe Biden and Hunter Biden belong in a zoo. They smoke a bunch of crack with Obama. I'm lost in this too. Happy birthday to you. You know, he couldn't get out of there fast enough. And you literally think you're going to get cooperation from Joe Biden? I'm sorry, but dude has been he's been guilty of plagiarizing his college paperwork. He's been lying his whole career. The whole time he was campaigning and debating with Donald Trump, I did not know anything to do with my son Hunter. You think for 1 second that he's going to say, you're right, I lied. No, he is incapable. You know, most normal people, when we make a mistake, we go, oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Man, what could I do to make up for this? Or if you screw up and you didn't hurt nobody else, just like you fucked up yourself, you could be like, damn, I need to learn from that one so I don't do that again. But how immoral and downright criminal and racist Joe Biden is. He is a very ornery, a very non-compassionate old fuck. And he don't care. He's stuck in his ways. He's nearly 80 years old. I think he is 80, isn't he? My God, man. I can't believe he fucking lasted this long. Did you know the expected lifetime for women, the lifespan for women today is 80 years old? Now, I thought that women always outlive men. What the fuck is going on? Get out of here, you old coot. My dad, it was so funny when he was alive. Even he called Joe Biden an old coot, and he died at 80 years old. Get that old coot out of here. He hated Joe Biden, and he was a Trumper through and through, man. I'm kind of glad that he's not here to see the state of the country today, because he would be losing his ever-loving mind. All right, Matt Gaetz came out on C-SPAN, y'all. Now, I wanted to talk about, I don't want to forget what I was like, my research that I did today. Like, I screen recorded that shit and everything. I learned a lot about Hunter Biden today. Too much. Way too much. Like, I'm emotionally scarred from it. So, here's what I learned. I cannot show this on YouTube here because I will 1000%, you will not see me no more. They'd be like, just Jen reacts who? She don't exist. I'll be like 8 passengers. I'll disappear off YouTube like that. So I can't show what I saw, right? What I screen grabbed. I will tell you this much. That dude, he likes feet. He likes feet while he's indulging in smoking a whole lot of crack. He likes to record himself. Like, he's a selfie king. He's always like, I got to get the right angle. Let me put my leg over here. Like, he was like this, like, what's up? And then he was like this a lot. Then he propped it up. Yeah, he likes feet. It definitely reaches his belly button. He's one of those guys. And yeah, he's a freak, man. He's a freak. What's so disturbing about it, right? And I don't think that recording yourself or taking pictures of yourself, I don't think that's disgusting in any way, right? But if you are a politician's child, right, you probably should not record yourself doing dirty shit with hookers and uploading them to a porno site. I'm just saying. He willingly did that. He uploaded that, and he's watching ridiculousness on MTV. Like, I hear the do not try this on MTV. Do not submit this. And I heard like Chantel's laugh, and she laughs like a hyena. And I'm like, how could he keep that thing up while Chanel is laughing? Chanel West Coast is laughing. Like, she's, ha, ha, ha. You're like, oh, it's like nails on a chalkboard. So yeah, I fell on a sword for you guys, literally. And he liked all varieties of escorts. So I found that one, right? I didn't even know I could do this with my feet. I'm never gonna hear that shit again. It's all stuck in my head. Besides that, he was talking to Julie, telling her how well her feet work, right? Oh, I'm so embarrassed right now for him. You know, if you are a politician's son, you should be, keeping a tight image. Like, look at Eric and Don Jr. Okay. Look at them. Look at Ivanka. Very picturesque, very regal, very well put together. Definitely don't upload porns and smoke crack on. If you're the president's son, why are you filming yourself hitting the glass pipe? No wonder why Joe Biden handed out free crack pipes. He was the smartest man he knows was probably like, Dad, you really got to hand out free crack pipes. Nothing. There ain't nothing more pain in the ass like than you get your hooker, you go get a room at the Motel 6, and boom, no crack pipe. Damn it, I gotta leave and I gotta go buy one, and then I have to go over here to get some chore. It's just a pain in the ass. So I can almost imagine the talks that Joe and Hunter have. That was probably one of them. But anyway, the first laptop he took in to get repaired. Okay. There's another one. There's a fucking another one. Where is the second laptop? The first one he took into New York to a repairman. I think it was like New York State, I think, or New Jersey or something. I don't know. Takes it in to get repaired and just leaves it there. And the guy's like, yo, you want to see this? And the FBI literally hid that shit and paid $30 million to social media to censor every sentence about Hunter Biden's laptop. But Donald Trump is Russian collusion. The Steele dossier proved otherwise. But all of this, that, and the other. He posted another video. He was talking to I think a Russian prostitute or somebody. I don't even know. I think it was in the States, but he was talking all kinds of politics and shit with some hooker. I'm over here the whole time watching this, and I'm going, and it's on the Daily Mail. I'm over here thinking, this bitch don't care. She's talking like she cares, right? And Hunter's having this like one-sided conversation. She's like, and what happened next? You're paying her by the hour. Keep talking, dude. The more you keep talking, the less she's got to be doing stuff, So he's talking to her about passing out in a pool. And they find him, these Russians bombard the hotel room with this escort that he's with, a real brunette. What is that? She's a real brunette. She's real pretty. She's a Russian prostitute. And these Russian drug dealers burst in the room. They find him face down in the pool, unresponsive. I guess they wait for a sign of life or something. Then he says she leaves with her bathing suit in her hand. And then they steal his laptop. So there's 2 Hunter Biden laptops. And then in that same video, he was caught. You guys have all seen it, where he is, they're fighting over the amount of crack on the scale. And he's like, it's 20.6 grams. And like, your dad said that much, and you're going to prison for 5 years, but you have like 10 times that amount. It's sad. It makes me sad because so many, young kids, whether they be white or black, Hispanic, whatever the case may be, their fathers were stripped away from them during the 94 crime bill. And it left a whole bunch of kids without a father, mostly black kids. Like, these people need to wake up and see that Democrats don't give a fuck about the black community. They haven't done anything. So I did do some research today, and I've seen way too much. I will never be the same again. But yeah, I just can't show what I saw. You can Google it. It's there. I'm over here like, oh my God, that dude's like, oh my God, he's strapped. All right, you guys, C-SPAN. You heard we just did the speech from Kevin McCarthy. We're going to have another one for Scott Perry, right? We're going to first listen to Matt Gaetz, and then we're going to listen to what Scott Perry's got to say. He's angry, but he makes a lot of sense. So we like that. We like the truth. Here we go. Matt Gaetz.
On this very floor in January, the whole world witnessed a historic contest for House Speaker. I rise today to serve notice. Mr. Speaker, you are out of compliance with the agreement that allowed you to assume this role.
How can we be?
The path forward for the House of Representatives is to either bring you into immediate total compliance or remove you pursuant to a motion to vacate the chair. We have had no vote on term limits or on balanced budgets as the agreement.
Hold on. All right, hold on a second here. Now, I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood in Cleveland, Ohio. Super diverse, right? Now, a lot of people, including myself, cannot say what it was like for any person who is black. I don't say person of color. I refuse to. It's a Democratic slur. It's the same thing as colored people. I don't like to say it. I hate it. So I can't say how any of you feel about the mass incarceration that happened during the 90s crime bill. I don't know how old you are, but how did you see the 90s crime bill affect, like, the crack epidemic? Here's what I'm going to say from an outsider looking, because obviously I was a little kid when Highway Rick brought in crack, right? Highway Rick, if you guys don't know, was instrumental in, getting a form of cocaine into the inner cities, and it exploded. Okay, there was even a song like "Your Mama's a Crackhead." It was like these little black kids. I'll never forget it. I just don't remember who the artist was, but from an outsider looking in, And I saw how destructive it was. And then we had the Just Say No campaign with Ronald and Nancy Reagan. And then we have, let's fast forward a couple of years to the crime bill. Joe Biden, when he delivered that crime bill speech, you could tell he had hatred in his heart. So from somebody who is a part of the Black community, like, how did that affect you? I would love to know. As just seeing, I know how it affected people, but I want to know, like, how pissed did that make you? And seeing the Democrats this whole time promising the sun, the moon, the stars, some reparations, which I don't get. I don't understand why anybody would want any handouts from the government. That always has strings attached to that. You are going to be enslaved to the government the more you rely on them and depend on them. I hope more people wake up and see everything for what it really is. Because we, America, no matter what the fuck we look like, we deserve better. We deserve the truth. We deserve to have us and our needs met first, rather than a bunch of people that just walked across our border. It's like Americans are always last, especially in the last few years. It's gotten progressively worse. The only thing progressive about progressives in this administration is things have gotten progressively worse. So I hope, I just hope, like, here we can just drain the swamp, and it's Democrats and Republicans. All right, you guys, let's get into this because I want to see what Matt Gaetz has got to say.
Demanded or remove you pursuant to a motion to vacate the chair. We have had no vote on term limits or on balanced budgets as the agreement demanded and required. There's been no full release of the January 6 tapes as you promised. There has been insufficient accountability for the Biden crime family. And instead of cutting spending to raise the debt limit, you relied on budgetary gimmicks and rescissions so that you ultimately ended up serving as the valet to underwrite Biden's debt and advance his spending agenda. Mr. Speaker, you boasted in January that we would use the power of the subpoena and the power of the purse. But here we are 8 months later, and we haven't even sent the first subpoena to Hunter Biden. That's how you know that the rushed and somewhat rattled performance you just saw from the speaker isn't real. At this point, during Democrat control over the House of Representatives, they had already brought in Don Jr. three times.
Right.
And we haven't even sent the first subpoena to Hunter Biden. Power of the subpoena and power of the purse. Only thing the 118th Congress is known for at this point is electing Kevin McCarthy speaker and underwriting Biden's debt. And unfortunately, there's only one of those things we can remediate at this time. Power of the purse. Our leadership right now is asking us to vote for a continuing resolution. A vote for a continuing resolution is a vote to continue the Green New Deal, a vote to continue inflationary spending, and in the most troubling of fashions, a vote for a continuing resolution is a vote to continue the election interference of Jack Smith. Mr. Speaker, we told you how to use the power of the purse. Individual, single subject spending bills that would allow us to have specific review, programmatic analysis.
I just for once want, because he keeps saying the power of the purse. I want him to just break out in just 100% Soul Train. And I want him to be like, power to the people. I want that to happen so bad. My mind does that shit. I play these scenarios in my head, these goofy ass comedy sketches. Growing up on really good comedy, the uncancelable ones, the ones that would put their middle fingers up to the cancel culture that we have today, like Bernie Mac, George Carlin, just the greats. I see too much seriousness, and I'm I like a break in the seriousness every once in a while. And I understand this is a very serious matter, but I saw that. Please tell me I'm not the only one, because he just keeps saying power of the purse, and I just want him to do that so bad, but I know he won't. He'd get so much bullshit for that. Matt Gaetz, he's a Klansman. That's what he would get if he did that, which really sucks, man. Kevin, I hope you're good. All right, let's finish this. Let's finish the power of the purse.
Subject spending bills that would allow us to have specific review, programmatic analysis, and that would allow us to zero out the salaries of the bureaucrats who have broken bad, targeted President Trump, or cut sweetheart deals for Hunter Biden.
Thank you, Bill.
September 30th is rapidly approaching, and you have not put us in a position to succeed. There is no way to pass all the individual appropriations bills now. And it's not like we didn't know when September 30th was going to show up on the calendar. I must be better. You must be better. And this House must be better, for it is the last best hope for tens of millions of Republicans.
Yes.
We demand real oversight against this weaponized government. Just look at the bribery. If tens of millions of dollars flowing from foreign corrupt people into the bank accounts of the Biden family wasn't enough for actual impeachment, why were we even looking? Joe Biden deserves impeachment for converting the vice presidency into an ATM machine for virtually his entire family. We all see it. We all know it.
That was amazing. Let's hear that one more time. And I liked your comment here. Biden hates America and Americans. Yeah, because why would Joe Biden hate America and Americans? Because he can capitalize off of the communist regime, of people like Klaus Schwab, of people like anybody in the WEF. Like, I just look at Leonardo DiCaprio these days because I see him on these WEF, like these documentaries on Klaus Schwab and the Great Reset, and like Greta Thunberg and all that poor, she's half retarded. First of all, you're preying on this girl because she is somewhat of a internet celebrity. This poor girl is convinced that cow farts are the reason for climate change. Man, I'm over here like, oh my God. And they want to kill poor little cows, 200 of them, because they fart. Well, my God, man. What about the old folks? What about the ones that are walking in front of you and they can't help it but they have walking farts? Does that mean we have to euthanize them too? It's like, I don't get it. I really don't. But if you want to look anywhere, look at the WEF. That is exactly why Biden hates America and Americans, because he's paid to. He's paid to. Money matters over morality to him. You know, look, he stole the man's wife. First of all, was having an affair with Jill, Dr. Jill. He's having an affair with Jill Biden. His first wife, Hunter's mommy, dies in a car accident. He does a press conference from Hunter's hospital bed, like puts a podium up there and everything while he was a senator. Like, who does that? Like, you can't sit there with your child who got injured, and you lost a child, and your wife just died. So who the fuck asked to bring a podium in a time like that? One that doesn't give a shit, one that was already having an affair, and one that is a crooked ass politician his whole career. And I'm over here going, they knew exactly to get Joe Biden in office so that all of his oligarchs and all of his the puppet masters can control him. He's a puppet. Literal puppet, and he has no soul. I am convinced that man is soulless. All of these people that put America last, that see money is more important than morality or family or loyalty or anything good, is just a sack of shit in my eyes. But you know, he has the affair, does the press conference while his wife is in the morgue. Hunter's in a hospital bed. One of his children die. Jill Biden, now Jill Biden, she wasn't Jill Biden back then because they were still kind of like, you know, in the midst of their affair. But now that the wife is gone out of the picture, this bitch goes to her funeral. And you have to look at like Hunter Biden and see, like, this kid has been through a lot. And I'm not making any excuses for Hunter Biden, but I do have something called empathy. I do. I have empathy for him because he had a hard life. Imagine Joe Biden is your dad. Oh, man, poor Ashley Biden. So no wonder why the kid's doing drugs. He's constantly enabled, constantly getting out of trouble. Any trouble that he gets into, his daddy saves him because he knows, like, you slept on with this lady. over my, while you were with my mother and married to my mother, and he hates Jill Biden, and Jill Biden hates Hunter. You could just tell they hate each other. He's called her a bitch. She's said a bunch of shit about him. You could just tell by the interactions that them two have. It's very toxic, you know. So he invites Jill to his ex-wife's funeral, and I could just, and again, I'm not trying to make excuses for Hunter Biden, because at the time that he's making all of these deals with Burisma and doing this and that and the other, he's a grown-ass man. But still, as a grown-ass man, he has to give his daddy 50% of his money, half of his money or all of his money. I don't know. I think it was half. Then you're lying on your tax form saying that you pay your dad $49,000 a month in rent. It's like, that's learned behavior. Just like the racism is taught. Racism is taught. Children have to learn that. They have to see that. They have to hear that. But I don't know, man. I think Joe would be pretty damn disappointed if he saw that, the shit that Hunter uploaded, because he was screwing all kinds of escorts. All different colors. I'm not going to say different shapes because they were all lean, but like crackheads mainly. But probably wouldn't be making his daddy very proud. You could just tell Joe Biden is one of those people that he's got that Delaware, like, that's the wealth privilege, the white privilege, the white. So he feels like he's superior, and by his statements alone that he has made in his whole career. Yeah, I don't want my kid to be going to school with black kids. It would be like a racial jungle. I don't want these black kids bused to the suburbs, blah, blah, blah. They're going to put you all back in chains, blah, blah, blah. Man. Again, if like Ray Charles was alive today, fuck, man, no. Let's go even deeper than that. If Helen Keller was alive today, she could see and hear. Donald Trump is not the racist. Anything and everything that they blame him for or say about him negative in the media, look no further than an Obama or a Biden. Obama's a racist old motherfucker, man. I'll tell you what, man, he does not like white people.
For actual impeachment, why were we even looking? Joe Biden deserves impeachment for converting the vice presidency into an ATM machine for virtually his entire family.
Right it.
We all see it. We all know it. Now, moments ago, Speaker McCarthy endorsed an impeachment inquiry. This is a baby step following weeks of pressure from House conservatives to do more. We must move faster. Now, I will concede that the votes I have called for will likely fail. Term limits, balanced budgets, maybe even impeachment. I am prepared for that eventuality, because at least if we take votes, the American people get to see who's fighting for them and who's willing to tolerate more corruption and business as usual.
That
Mr.
right
Speaker,
there.
dust off our written January agreement. You have a copy. Reflect on the spirit of that agreement and build on the start that we had moments ago. Begin to comply. No continuing resolutions, individual spending bills or bust, votes on balanced budgets and term limits, subpoenas for Hunter Biden and the members of the Biden family who've been grifting off of this country, and the impeachment for Joe Biden that he so richly deserves. Do these things or face a motion to vacate the chair. And let me alert the country, a motion to vacate might not pass at first, but it might before the 15th vote. And if Democrats bail out McCarthy, as they may do, then I will lead the resistance to this uniparty and the Biden, McCarthy, Jeffries government that they are attempting to build. I know that Washington isn't a town where people are known for keeping their word. Well, Speaker McCarthy, I'm here to hold you to yours.
Oh,
I yield back.
That's right, Matt Gaetz. Wow. Vacate the seat. Vacate it. Get out of here. Joe Biden would be like, vacation? But I got to take more vacation. I've been on vacation 39.6% of my presidency. What do I mean? I need to get more vacation? Yes, Joe. Go ahead. Go on vacation some more, dude. I've never in my life seen a president that has been on vacation for 40% of his presidency. That's how you know that, oops, wrong button. Sorry. That's how you know that Barack Obama's running shit. Yeah. And like once these people get, in politics, they are power hungry and they get a little bit and then a lot of it. And then they're like, how can I make sure my hand is still in the cookie jar? How can I make sure that I'm going to still benefit from it? Because despite what, like, see me, I'd be happy with just a roof over my kid's head. But no, Martha's Vineyard estate, Lord knows wherever else, homes upon homes upon homes. It's never enough because once you get so much money, you have to keep it pouring in because you have that fear. What if it runs out? And the greed just compiles and piles and piles. And then you're rubbing elbows with the elite, man. He sold his soul a long time ago. I believed in Obama, man. I did. And like a lot of people, I was bamboozled, like the rest of them. It's kind of disheartening to know that we have politicians in this country that they're only covering their own asses. CYA, they're covering their asses. It sucks, man. It truly does. All right, we do have another C-SPAN video, but this time Scott Perry breathes fire at a reporter. And this should raise serious eyebrows. All right, it's only a minute long, y'all. But here goes it.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I just ask, what actual evidence do you have as opposed to allegations to show to the American public that would merit an actual impeachment inquiry of Joe Biden and prove that today isn't just about some of you?
Oh, I don't know.
McCarthy for the sake of enacting political revenge.
This isn't about political revenge. We have the bank accounts. We can see, ma'am, you can see that the homes that the Bidens own can't be afforded on a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. That's not normal to have 20 shell companies.
Hold on. It's not normal to have all of these homes. Like, what more proof do you need? What more proof?
And a congressional or Senate salary. You also understand that it's not normal for family members to receive millions of dollars from overseas interests. Those things aren't normal. That's not normal to have 20 shell companies. These things are not normal, and it alludes to not only just widespread corruption, but money laundering, if not influence peddling itself. And we also have the president, the vice president at the time, on record saying that the prosecutor was fired. Well, son of a bitch, the prosecutor was fired, right? Because the prosecutor was going after this.
Why wouldn't, hold on a second. I seen your comment. Why wouldn't you be welcomed here? Are you talking about here on this channel or in the stream? Because we welcome everybody. The only rules that I have, look, is be respectful towards people in the chat, because guess what? We're all human beings. We all deserve respect and dignity. Unless somebody comes at you viciously and they're attacking your character when they don't know you, they're just being an internet bully, by all means, defend yourself. But we welcome everybody here. The only rule is don't be a dick to the fellow people in the chat, because, again, we're all human beings. Do not be a dick to my moderators. Those are my near and dear. I build a rapport and a relationship with them over the years, and I value them very much. They're very good people. I wouldn't co-sign on them if I didn't believe that wholeheartedly. And when I have a guest on, be respectful. Again, it's the same rules apply. Everybody's welcome here, as long as you just enjoy the streams, have a good time. That's what we're here for. And I want it to be comfortable for everybody else, but like, I don't take any shit. I don't take people being rude to one another like a bunch of toddlers. I mean, if you guys do have a little bit of beef, sort it out amongst yourselves. You're grown-ass adults. You can do that. The thin skin of today is like a plague. It's an epidemic. You got to, like, a lot of people are very hyper, like, offended, hyper offended. And it's like, man, I got a 5-year-old, man. That's the only person I'm coddling. You know what I mean? But yeah, all are welcome here. You wouldn't be disqualified from being welcome here simply because you're a Hispanic dude. I don't care who you want to fuck. I don't care what you look like. I don't care where you live. As long as you're good people, you're welcome. I should have just said that from the beginning. Damn it, I ramble on too much. Welcome.
The company that his son was working on. That's what we have. If you can't see that, if you are that blunt, look, I'll turn it over to the attorneys.
Hold on, let me back that up because I totally missed that. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
It's going after the company that his son was working on. That's what we have. If you can't see that, if you are that blunt, look, I'll turn it over to the attorneys.
People can't see that. They think it's political revenge.
It's because you don't report on it.
I'm not sure how you know what the American people think, but here's what they might wonder.
Yes, ma'am.
He's like, you don't report on it. Literally, the media, social media, they've known this. What was more important to them? Proving Trump was a racist, rapist, racist, Russian collusion. You know, it was like they had one solitary narrative and mission: destroy Donald Trump at all costs. What I don't understand is, none of these people had a problem before he ran for president. None. You didn't hear shit about Donald Trump other than, I want my picture with him because that's the only way I know that I have achieved fame and riches. Not one mention of him being racist or misogynistic or homophobic or anything. Nothing. Very second, he's like, I'm running for Republican. They was like, bring out the torches, bitches. Yeah. It was ridiculous, man. It was ridiculous. And I look at Donald Trump today and I'm like, damn. This dude is like, gets knocked down at every turn. He's facing like 700 years in prison, right? 700 years in prison. Keeps standing there tall. And he's right. They ain't doing this just to him. If they succeed in convicting him, when we have Hillary Clinton, Obama, all kinds of other people, Jerry Nadler, all of them saying that there's Russian or there's interference for the election. There is the Dominion voting system is fraudulent and hackable, blah, blah, blah. They could call him an illegitimate president all day long. It was an illegitimate election when he won, right? Nobody gets charged. Oh, well, he didn't tell people to go home. He wasn't stern enough. So that doesn't mean charge him with a fucking felony. The fuck out of here. I just can't stand. I just can't stand it, man. I really can't, y'all. I think it's just terrible. Did you see the caption? Still, women still don't have dicks. Oh, and there's still only two genders. Look, man, I don't care what people want to identify as. I don't care. But look, you can't say that I can't believe what I want to believe and believe in biology and science. We have the left constantly going like, trust the science. Trust the science. Dr. Fauci's he's the best. Woo! You say that's okay to trust that science. I killed a bunch of fucking people, right? But you don't trust the science and the biology when it comes to only two genders, and men definitely cannot have a baby and get pregnant. One science is okay, but the other ain't. Like, I thought you had to trust the science. Again, we have too many people in the country and the world that are truth phobic. They are afraid of the truth. They want to run away from it like it is going to wipe out their whole family. Not the truth. Oh my God. Yeah. What are you going to do? I like this one here. Look, y'all. Vacate the fucking state. Vacate it. Vacate it. Biden. Did someone say vacation again? Vacation? Hang on, Maui. I'll be there after my vacation in Lake Tahoe. I oughta. So 9/11, you guys, was yesterday. It was the 22nd year since the tragedy of 9/11. Kamala Harris compared January 6th to 9/11 and Pearl Harbor. She said it was worse. It's the worst. Oh my God. A bunch of patriots wanting a recount. Oh. Well, now Joe Biden is some serious. He is literally working with the Al Qaeda terrorists. Like, hey, oh, well, also what he said, he did say he was at the 9/11 ground zero. He was at ground zero. It was like looking into the gates of hell. He wasn't there. He lied right through his plagiarizing teeth again. So if Kevin McCarthy seriously thinks that Joe Biden is going to cooperate, he lies about every fucking thing and then makes it about himself. Oh, I almost lost a cat and my 67 Corvette. Ha 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 ha. Fuck out of here, man. We all know Hunter was cooking crack in your kitchen. You know, it's disgusting to see. I'll never forget that day, y'all. For as long as I live. I'm trying not to cry right now because I just got a spray tan and I'm going to be looking like a zebra if I do. But I'll never forget it. I was 21 and I turned on the news and I saw the first tower smoking, like, and the headline was the trade tower hit by something, or explosion at the trade towers. And then I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because I remembered when I was 13 in 93 that there was a failed bombing at the Trade Center, but it was in the garage. So it didn't do too much damage. There was damage, but it didn't do too much damage, right? And I remember Oklahoma City and to compare a bunch of patriots to anything terroristic like that, whether it be foreign terrorism or domestic terrorism, it's like, how distasteful, you know? That one hurt. It pissed me off more than anything. But I'm watching the news. We're still trying to figure out what hit the damn thing, or if it was like an accident, if the plane hit, and then the second one hit live. And I'm like, and a lot of people say like it was CGI, but you guys, I saw when he hit that throttle, there was, you could tell the jet stream coming from behind, the exhaust from the plane, from the engines. You can see he put the throttle full and boom. And I'd never been so shocked in my life. I'm like, this is not a coincidence. This is on purpose. And then I'll never forget watching all of the papers flying out everywhere, and New York City in a panic. Like, some people were like, people were running. The people were jumping. Time magazine grabbed like the fallen man. Yeah, it was so bad. So traumatizing. But, I'm watching these documentaries leading up to 9/11 because typically a few days before 9/11, I like to gear myself up and prepare, because I don't call it an anniversary. It's not something to celebrate. We had Flight 93 go down by Camp David, and they flew over Cleveland, and they were really low. I remember it being like the air traffic controllers in Cleveland at Hopkins were like, why is there a plane like flying super low in downtown Cleveland? I think they were like, fuck it, we're just gonna hijack a bunch of planes and then just crash them into like any major city, you know? But it's just like so much that doesn't make sense with it. Like you could tell our government, any kind of shit that goes on, whether it be JFK, you know, Marilyn Monroe, just fuck, probably Abraham Lincoln, you know? The CIA and the FBI and the DOJ, they've always been fucked up, man. And I'm over here like the Department of Justice, you're supposed to bring forth justice and be that role model, that model for justice in our whole country. But Biden literally like was able to politicize and weaponize the whole fucking Department of Justice. Ah, man, that's crazy. So it's not just Biden that did it, it's everybody involved. But anyways, you see that happen. You see people jumping. You're like, oh my God, people, then they collapse. And you're like, people, you see just like the plume of smoke that looked like an atom bomb going off. You're just like, is this fucking real? Is this real? And then building number 7 falls. And it was like, somebody mentioned on I think it was on my Twitter today, like he was in building 7. And I'm like, thank God you got out of there before it collapsed. Then the Pentagon gets hit, but in the financial or forensic department, like that specific department, now they're saying there's trillions of dollars missing and shit. This is America deserves the truth. The world deserves the truth. But when you tell the truth, people on the top, oh, how the mighty will fall. So, you know, I prep myself several days in advance for 9/11 because it's so tragic. I can't believe that happened in my lifetime. They fast forward to George W. Bush, reading to these kids in Sarasota, Florida. And a lot of people on TikTok were like, you could tell by the look on his face, like he was so scared and didn't know what to do. To me, I would have gotten up. And I know he didn't want to frighten the children, but they did a press conference at the school in front of the children any flipping ways. So my first reaction would have been like, we're under attack. Period. Let's just be real. But like 22 years ago today, they flew out the Bin Laden family when no one else could fly. There was a 0 flying for everybody. All flights were grounded because of 9/11. The Bin Laden family, though, were flown out by the Bush family. And then we have Joe Biden literally lying and saying he was there. Look like the gates of hell. What, from your fucking TV, from your in your basement, Joe? Shut up. You weren't there. And look what Giuliani did for 9/11. Look at how he responded to that. And look at how they're treating him today. It's fucking tragic. And I swear, you guys, this DC judge that posts everything about hating Trump, has hated Trump for years, worked with Hunter Biden, worked for Hillary Clinton on the Steele dossier. She's been gunning for Trump for years. She refuses to recuse herself. Do you think that there's not even I don't think there's a half of a percentile of a chance of him getting a fair trial with a judge that clearly has bias and was given the January 6th prisoners, especially. She wanted to be on their cases. She volunteered. She gave them more time than the federal government was even recommending. This bitch is a fucking Democratic puppet, paid off by probably George Soros. You know, he doesn't stand a fucking chance if he is in that court. And I'm only being real because of I fear for him. I do. I genuinely fear that they're gonna do him dirty. Her clear bias, she's open about it. She worked for Hunter Biden. That right there. She worked with Hillary Clinton on the Steele dossier. You would think that would be enough to say there's clear bias here. She said she hates Trump. What? You think she's going to give him a fair trial? No, she's going to abuse her power and do anything and everything to wrongfully convict him is what's going to happen. Mark my words, which I hope I'm not right. Let's go down to Georgia. Fani Willis, this bitch, while she is prosecutor, she is prosecuting one of Atlanta's biggest gangs, most dangerous gangs, drugs, weapons, murder, all kinds of shit. What does she do as lead prosecutor? She starts fucking the gang leader. Come on, man. This is like, she won't recuse herself either. She hires a special jury, of course, led by a self-proclaimed witch that can't wait to swear in President Trump. We're looking at all of these people that did good for America, and they're trying to throw them in prison. I don't care if you are a Democrat or a Republican supporter. I don't give a shit. You should see the wrong in this, not just because the media told you to hate Donald Trump and, oh yeah, Trump for president, blah, 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 blah. You should see how weaponized they have become and be like, what the this is not good. If you think that they can't do that to you, they're doing it to a former president of the United States of America. Oh, I want it televised. I want it in an arena. It'll be bigger than the OJ case. Well, if the tweets don't fit, you must acquit. Fanny Pack. All right, you guys. What are you saying here? Some are saying there might not be a 2024 election if he succeeds starting a war. Biden. But I thought he said Donald Trump would start World War III. He didn't. He kept that shit from happening. Please, like, I know a lot of you guys are conservatives, but I know some of you out there might be liberals and you might watch this, right? Look aside from the political differences, right? Look at the evidence that they have, right? Tweets, a phone call. Ask yourself, are they holding Trump to the same standard as Joe and Hunter Biden? And if you can answer yes, I'd kiss your ass in a second. I would. I'd bend right over and just be like, here, right on your ass cheek. If you can prove to me that they are showing fairness with Donald Trump and they're doing the same, that our justice system is not two-tiered, I would definitely pucker up. I would. I'd be like, I was wrong, man. But you can't. Now, any other normal person, you or I, lied on a gun application. We crashed a rental car full of drugs, Secret Service badges, all kinds of shit. Lied on our taxes. Had a laptop full of literal like proof evidence that we're doing in drugs and buying prostitutes and all this, that, and the other. Where would we be? Where would we be? We would be in the fucking penitentiary. Probably for the rest of our fucking lives. So why is it so two-tiered? Like Antifa, BLM, they can rush into Kevin McCarthy's office. They can storm the Supreme Court. Nothing. Amy Schumer was arrested, and guess what? They let her go on a $15 ticket. Whatever happened to those liberals that stormed the Tennessee Capitol building? Will anybody know? Nothing? Whatever happened to the people that were in charge of or participated in the riots and the lootings and burning down of churches, cop cars. 30 people died, billions of dollars worth of damage. Whatever happened to those people? They didn't get a special committee. They're not facing 20 years in prison for not even being there. Fucking shit. How is Patrisse Cullors not in prison right now? Knowing that she defrauded people out of $100 million. And that she sent, it was a money laundering scheme. Fraud. How? So don't tell me it ain't two-tiered, because it sure as shit is. As long as you are like voting Democrat, you're good. I would love to see some bank transfers and some banking information of Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi. I would just love to see it, because I would love to see if Patrisse Cullors like paid off Nancy Pelosi or Maxine Waters or Ilhan Omar, AOC. There's so much corruption, you guys. It's going to take years to uncover it all. Years. Shit, they still won't even tell us that the CIA was involved with JFK. It's despicable. And as Americans, we deserve better. And when the fuck are we going to stand up and do something about it? We're going to let them do this to us? Yeah. I hope not. All right, guys, that does it. That does it for me. I am out. I am glad that you joined me tonight. I'll leave with one last meme of the day, because I believe in this one. Like, I do. They indicted the wrong president. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen with his impeachment. You need a super majority to get him out. Doubt we'll ever see that. Let's hope Donald Trump makes it through unscathed, doesn't become unalived or Epsteined. And let's hope one day we'll get that Epstein flight log. One day. The client list. One day. Like I said, here's the new catchphrase. I'll believe it when I see it. All right, guys, I love you all. Thank you again for watching. And thanks, because this is healing for me. God bless America. God bless you guys. Remember, God first, then family, and then Trump. See you guys. Bye.